All right, get ready because today we're going to try to wrap our heads around time travel.
To the future.
Yeah, to the future, going forward in time.
Yeah.
And you sent me a bunch of notes and articles all about this, most of them having to do with
Einstein.
Einstein, yeah, his theories of relativity.
Yeah.
So let's just kind of dive in, I guess.
Yeah, let's unpack it.
So before we get into the really crazy stuff,
Yeah.
can we take a step back and
Sure.
talk about how people thought about time and space before Einstein kind of came along and blew everyone's mind?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. That's a great starting point because it really highlights
Okay.
how revolutionary his ideas were. You see, in classical physics,
Yeah.
time and space were seen as completely separate things.
Okay.
They were absolute.
Gotcha.
So time was like this universal clock
Okay.
that ticked at the same rate for everyone and everything.
Okay. So, like, imagine there's this giant clock in the sky, and everyone's just syncing their watches to that one clock.
Exactly, yeah. Everyone's on the same
time frame.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I get that.
Yeah,
So then Einstein comes along,
right.
and what he just says, nope, I've got a totally different idea.
Yeah, pretty much. Haha.
Haha.
Yeah, Einstein's theory of relativity really changed everything.
Okay.
He introduced this concept of spacetime,
Okay.
which combines space and time as one single entity.
So it's not two separate things anymore.
No, it's a four-dimensional fabric.
Okay.
And here's the crazy part. This fabric can be warped.
Warped. What do you mean warped?
Warped by mass and energy.
So, like, if you put a bowling ball on a trampoline.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
It makes like a dip.
Yeah,
So that's what massive objects do to space-time?
precisely.
Wow.
The bowling ball represents a massive object,
Okay.
like a planet or a star, and the dip
Right.
that it makes in the trampoline, that's the warping of space-time.
So does that mean, like, a planet's gravity is literally just the warp in space-time
It is. That's exactly what gravity is.
caused by its mass?
It's the curvature of space-time caused by mass and energy.
Wow. Okay, so massive objects aren't just in space-time?
Right.
They actually shape it.
They shaped it.
That's crazy.
It is, and that warping has some pretty mind-blowing consequences,
Okay.
especially when you start talking about Einstein's special theory of relativity.
All right, so we talked about space-time
Yes.
and how it can be warped.
Uh-huh.
What's so special about special relativity?
Haha. Well, special relativity is where things really start to get interesting in terms of time travel.
Okay, is this where it comes in?
Yeah, this is where it starts to make sense.
All right.
See, special relativity tells us that time isn't actually constant,
Okay.
the way we used to think.
Mhm.
It's relative, meaning it can pass at different rates.
For different people.
Yeah, for objects moving at different speeds.
Wait, so if I'm moving faster,
Yes.
time slows down for me.
Yeah, relatively speaking.
So our everyday experience of time,
Right.
that's kind of an illusion.
It's more that our everyday experience is limited
Okay.
to a very specific set of conditions.
Gotcha.
You know, we're not moving at speeds that are anywhere near the speed of light.
Okay, so at normal speeds, it doesn't really matter.
Right, the effects are so tiny.
But if you get close to the speed of light.
That's when things get really weird.
Okay.
Imagine you have two identical twins, right?
Okay.
One twin stays on Earth.
Mm.
The other twin blasts off in a spaceship
Okay.
at nearly the speed of light.
Uh-huh.
When that spacefaring twin comes back,
Yeah.
they're actually younger.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Seriously? That's not, like, just science fiction.
Nope, it's a real thing.
Really?
It's called time dilation.
Time dilation.
And it's been confirmed by experiments.
So they've actually, like, done
Well,
this?
Not with twins in spaceships,
Okay.
but they've flown atomic clocks on jets
Huh.
and compared them to clocks on the ground. The ones that flew at high speeds, they ticked a little bit slower.
Wow. Okay, so that's real.
It's real.
So does that mean that, like, traveling to the future
Mm-hmm.
is actually possible?
Theoretically,
Yeah.
yes. If we could build a spaceship that could go fast enough,
Okay.
we could essentially jump ahead in time.
That's wild.
And there's another piece to this puzzle,
Okay.
Einstein's general theory of relativity.
All right, so we've got special relativity.
Yes.
Now we've got general relativity.
Yeah,
What's that one all about?
General relativity reveals that gravity also plays a role in how time passes.
Okay, I think I read something about that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just that massive objects warp space.
Right.
It's that they actually slow down time too, right?
Exactly. The stronger the gravitational pull,
Okay.
the slower time passes.
So, like, being near a really massive object
Yes.
would be like hitting the slow motion button on your life.
You got it. That's a great way to think about it.
So just by living on Earth, we're experiencing time a tiny bit differently
Yes.
than someone like floating out in space.
That's right.
It's a tiny difference, but it's there.
It is.
And I guess it gets more extreme.
Much more extreme.
Near like black holes.
Yes.
Because they're so massive.
Exactly. Black holes are like the ultimate time-bending machines.
So hold on.
Yeah.
If we can manipulate time with gravity,
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't that mean we could travel to the future without going super fast?
That's a fascinating thought.
Just find a really massive object to hang out near
Right.
for a while?
It's a really interesting idea.
Yeah.
And it gets even more intriguing when we start talking about things like wormholes.
Wormholes. Those are like those tunnels in sci-fi movies, right?
Yes.
It's to connect two different points in space.
Exactly. The shortcuts through space-time.
But those are made up, right?
Well, we haven't actually observed them,
Okay.
but they are theoretically possible.
Within like the laws of physics.
Within the framework of general relativity, yes. So imagine these tunnels
Yeah.
connecting different points in space-time.
Mm-hmm. And if we could find or create traversable wormholes,
Yeah.
they might not just let us travel vast distances,
Right.
but also jump through time.
That's the idea.
So we might not even need to go near the speed of light to get to the future.
Potentially not.
We could just take a shortcut through a wormhole.
Yeah, but there's a catch.
Okay, there's always a catch.
Aha, always a catch.
What is it this time?
Wormholes, to stay open, would need something called exotic matter.
Exotic matter.
With negative energy density.
And we don't have that.
Not that we know of.
Okay, so wormholes are,
Pretty speculative.
yeah, pretty far out there.
Yeah.
But even if we stick with time dilation, like going really fast
Mhm.
to get to the future,
Yeah.
wouldn't we still need to figure out how to, like, reach those speeds?
Absolutely.
And that would take a ton of energy,
An incredible amount of
like more than we can even imagine right now.
more than we can produce, that's for sure.
Wow. I can't even comprehend how much power it would take to, like, propel a spaceship that fast.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
And then there's the spaceship itself. It
Yeah.
would have to be incredibly durable.
Right, to withstand those speeds.
Think about it. Even a tiny dust particle in space
Yeah.
at near light speed
Uh-huh.
would be like a bullet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we're not just talking about building a fast spaceship.
Right.
We're talking about building a spaceship that's essentially a fortress.
Oh, so it's not just about going fast.
No.
It's about surviving the trip.
Exactly. And then
Right.
you have radiation.
Oh, yeah, right. Radiation shielding.
Yeah, that's another huge hurdle.
Yeah, I've read about the health problems astronauts face
Mm-hmm.
just on the International Space Station.
Right. And they're only up there for a few months.
Yeah, a few months, and they've got problems.
Exactly.
So imagine traveling for years.
Or decades.
Yeah, at near light speed.
Yeah.
The toll it would take on your body would be incredible.
It would be immense.
Yeah, radiation would be a huge problem.
Yeah, you'd be talking about muscle atrophy,
Mm,
bone density loss,
right.
increased risk of cancer.
Yeah, and that's just the physical stuff.
Right.
What about, like, the mental and emotional toll?
Oh, absolutely.
Being cooped up in a spaceship
Yeah, the isolation, the confinement.
for that long.
Yeah, it would be incredibly demanding psychologically.
It'd be like a solo mission to Mars,
Mm-hmm.
but like 1,000 times harder.
Yeah. I mean, you start to wonder
Yeah,
if the human body is even capable of handling it
right.
as it's currently designed.
Right. Maybe we need to think beyond our current limitations.
Yeah, what if we need to explore things like genetic engineering
Oh, wow.
or cybernetics
And make humans more
and
resilient.
the rigors of deep space travel?
That's a crazy thought.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, like the first-time travelers
Yeah.
might not even be human.
As we know it,
Yeah.
it might be AI with its ability to withstand extreme conditions.
Yeah, process information
Yeah.
at incredible speeds.
Right.
That's blowing my mind.
It's a really interesting possibility.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder if we're asking the right questions.
Maybe it's not about building bigger, faster spaceships.
Mm-hmm.
It's about changing what it means to be a traveler.
Right. That's a really profound thought.
Yeah. Okay, I need a minute to process all of this.
I think that's a good idea. We've covered a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in.
And when we come back, we can dive into what might be the most mind-bending concept of all.
Okay.
The possibility of traveling to the past.
Oh, boy. I can't wait.
Uh-huh.
That's going to be fun.
It's going to be a wild ride.
All right, we'll be back after a short break. Welcome back. It's amazing how quickly time flies when you're talking about time travel.
It really is. Haha. Maybe we're experiencing a little time dilation ourselves.
Uh-huh. Maybe so.
But seriously, before we took that break, we were talking about the challenges of actually traveling to the future.
Even if, the physics works out, it seems like there are still some huge hurdles to overcome.
Absolutely. And one of the biggest is the energy it would take.
Yeah, like how much are we talking about here?
To get a spacecraft, even a small one, moving close to the speed of light, you'd need more energy than the entire world consumes in a year.
Wow, that's more than just a few batteries.
Haha. Yeah, it's a mind-boggling amount.
Okay, so even if, hypothetically, we could generate that much power,
Right.
how do you even store it?
That's another massive challenge.
I mean, our current batteries are pretty good
For everyday use, sure.
for this.
We'd need some completely new technology.
Okay, and then there's the spaceship itself.
Right, it can't just be fast. It has to be able to withstand those speeds.
Yeah, think about it. Even tiny dust particles in space would become like little bullets at near the speed of light.
Exactly. We'd need something incredibly durable.
So it's not just about building a fast spaceship.
Nope.
It's about building one that's basically a fortress.
Yeah, a supersonic tank that can also withstand cosmic radiation.
Yeah, radiation.
Right, radiation shielding is another major hurdle.
It's crazy to think about the damage it could do.
Yeah, especially over long periods of time.
Like astronauts on the International Space Station have all sorts of health problems.
Right, and they're only up there for a few months at a time.
So imagine years, decades even, at near the speed of light.
It'd be a huge risk.
Yeah, muscle atrophy, bone loss, cancer.
And that's not even considering the psychological effects.
Right, the isolation, the confinement.
Yeah, the sheer duration of the trip would be incredibly demanding.
It's like a solo mission to Mars,
Uh-huh.
but like 1,000 times worse.
It makes you wonder if the human body is even capable of handling it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we need to think beyond our current limitations.
What if the first-time travelers aren't even human as we know it?
Whoa, you're talking about like AI or something.
Possibly something that can withstand the extreme conditions of space travel much better than we can.
That's a pretty wild thought.
It is. Makes you wonder if we're even asking the right questions.
What if it's not about building better spaceships?
Right?
What if it's about fundamentally changing what it means to be a traveler?
That's a really profound idea.
So even if we could figure out all of that,
Yeah.
what about the research that's happening right now?
Oh, there's a lot going on.
What kind of stuff?
Well, we talked about LEGO earlier.
Yeah, the gravitational waves.
It's giving us incredible insights into how space-time behaves, especially under extreme conditions.
So we're getting a better understanding of the rules of the game.
Exactly.
Okay, and what about those particle accelerators?
Like the Large Hadron Collider.
Yeah,
They're helping us understand the fundamental forces of the universe.
by smashing things together at really high speeds.
Pretty much.
Okay, but how does that relate to time travel?
The more we understand about the fundamental laws of physics,
Yeah.
the more likely we are to find those loopholes
Loophole?
that might allow for time manipulation.
Oh, so it's like we need to know the rules before we can break them.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
So we need physicists who are also like cosmic hackers.
That's a great way to put it.
And then there's the theoretical stuff, right?
Right. There are brilliant minds out there
Yeah.
working on completely new models and theories.
Like what kind of stuff?
Wormholes, higher dimensions, even multiple universes
So it's like we're constantly pushing the boundaries,
of what we think is possible.
both technologically and conceptually.
Absolutely.
Makes you wonder if one day we'll look back
Yeah.
at our current understanding of time travel
Mm-hmm.
and laugh at how primitive it seems.
Like we do with those old drawings of flying machines.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Yeah, but there's one big question we haven't really talked about yet.
What's that?
We've talked about going to the future,
Mm-hmm.
but what about going back in time?
Ah. Yes, that's the really tricky one.
I mean, going forward, that's crazy enough.
Mm-hmm.
But going backward, that seems like a recipe for disaster.
It introduces a whole new set of challenges.
Like, what if you went back in time
Yeah.
and accidentally stepped on a butterfly?
Haha. The butterfly effect.
Yeah, would that change the course of history?
It's a classic paradox.
Yeah, cause and effect would be all messed up.
Exactly. You'd be violating one of the fundamental principles of the universe.
Okay, so let's talk about that. The whole going back in time thing.
Yeah, let's dive into that.
All right, my brain is a little fried after that last conversation.
Yeah, it's a lot to process.
Thinking about going back in time it really messes with my head.
I know. It really challenges our understanding of how things work.
Like the whole idea of cause and effect.
Yeah.
It seems like going back in time would completely turn that on its head.
You're right. It could potentially violate one of the most fundamental principles of the universe.
Right, like if you could go back in time
Mm-hmm.
and change something, wouldn't that change everything?
Exactly. And that leads to all sorts of paradoxes.
Yeah, like that grandfather paradox.
Right.
The one where you go back and accidentally kill your own grandfather.
Yeah, before your parent is even born.
Which means you would never have been born.
Exactly. So how could you have gone back in time in the first place?
It's a loop, like a crazy time loop.
A classic paradox.
Yeah.
It's a real head scratcher.
So have physicists figured out a way around that?
Well, there are some theories, but they get pretty wild.
Okay, like what?
Some suggest that if backward time travel were possible, it might create parallel universes.
Parallel universes, like alternate reality.
Exactly. So instead of changing your own past,
Okay.
you might inadvertently create a new reality where things played out differently.
Wow, so it's like stepping into a completely different dimension.
It's a possibility, but there are other theories too.
Okay, what else?
Some suggest there might be a sort of cosmic sensor.
A what?
A cosmic sensor, like a built-in mechanism
Okay.
that prevents us from making changes to the past.
So we can go back, but we can't actually change anything.
Well, it's more like there might be laws of physics we haven't discovered yet
Okay.
that would somehow prevent those paradox-creating events from happening.
So, like, the universe has a safety mechanism built in.
To keep things from unraveling.
Yeah, a paradox protection system.
It's a fascinating idea.
It is, but are these theories, like, based on anything solid?
Honestly, we're really in the realm of speculation here.
Okay.
We just don't have enough evidence
Say for sure.
to say for sure whether backward time travel is possible.
Or how it would even work.
Exactly.
So traveling to the future, maybe that's on the table.
Yeah, theoretically possible.
But traveling to the past, that's still a big mystery.
A huge mystery.
It seems like the more we dig into this, the more questions we have.
Well, that's science for you.
Yeah.
It's not always about finding answers.
Right.
Sometimes it's about asking the right questions.
Even if they lead to more mysteries.
Exactly. The quest to understand time. Yeah.
It's one of the most fundamental pursuits in science.
Trying to unravel the very essence of reality.
That's a great way to put it.
So where do we go from here?
Well, I think continued research is key.
Okay.
We need to keep pushing the boundaries of what we know about the universe.
From the tiniest particles?
To the largest structures.
Yeah, and everything in between.
Exactly. It's like we're trying to assemble this giant cosmic jigsaw puzzle.
And we're missing a bunch of the pieces.
And somewhere in those missing pieces might lie the key to unlocking the secrets of time travel.
I like that. It's hopeful.
We have to be optimistic.
Yeah.
There are still amazing discoveries to be made.
It's just a matter of time. Literally.
Exactly.
Well, I think that's a good place to wrap things up.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground.
I don't know about you, but I'm definitely leaving this conversation with a whole new perspective on time.
It's something we often take for granted.
Yeah, but when you really think about it.
It's incredibly complex and mysterious. Yeah, and even if we never figure out how to build an actual time machine, just exploring these ideas, pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible.
It's an incredible journey.
It really is.
It's about expanding our understanding of the universe.
And our place in it.
And who knows, maybe someday.
Yeah.
These theories will be seen as the first steps.
To a future.
Where the boundaries of time
aren't as rigid as we thought.
It's a nice thought.
It is. And to everyone listening out there, we want to hear from you.
Absolutely.
If you could travel through time,
past or future,
where would you go? What moment would you choose to visit?
Let us know.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks for listening.
We'll see you next time.